Welcome to The Deep Dive. This is a Prime AI podcast brought to you by the folks at Silicon and Silk.
Great to be here.
Let's be honest, you know that feeling? You're scrolling online, you see maybe a jacket or a pair of jeans that looks perfect. You see the photo, it's flawless, perfectly lit on a model, but then that question hits you, right? Is it actually going to look like that on me?
That's it. That is the fundamental disconnect, the biggest point of friction in e-commerce today. And what the work from Prime AI is really showing is that the static JPEG, the image that used to be the gold standard, is now, well, it's an efficiency bottleneck.
It really is. The process just breaks down right at that moment of personalization. And that's what we're unpacking today, how retailers are tackling this with virtual try-on technology or VTO.
Yeah, and this is about so much more than just a cool gimmick. It's a strategic move to solve that foundational flaw in how we shop online. They need a way to bring context, drape, and personal relevance back into it, all before anything gets shipped.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is VTO, especially the advanced kind we're seeing now?
So at its core, VTO is it's using computer vision and augmented reality to simulate a piece of clothing on a body. But it's got to be way more than just like a 2D sticker on a photo.
Right, so we're not talking about a simple social media filter where a hat just kind of floats on your head.
No, not at all. Advanced VTO is basically a complex physics simulation. The system has to mimic these really, really complex real-world variables. We're talking about fabric physics, for one.
So how a heavy denim jacket holds its shape versus...
Exactly, versus how a silk blouse drapes and moves with your body.
Yeah.
And then there's lighting. You need accurate lighting to show the true color and texture.
And of course, it has to work on my body shape, not just a generic model.
That's the key, body morphology. It has to look and react like the real thing on your specific shape. And that takes some serious computational horsepower.
That makes me wonder, though, if it requires all this complex rendering, does that price out smaller brands? Is this just a tool for the huge e-commerce giant?
That's a great question. And historically, yeah, it was prohibitive. But the systems being deployed now, they're much more scalable, often using cloud rendering. And honestly, the ROI is so clear now that the cost of not doing it with all the returns is actually higher.
So once a retailer has it, what's the first thing they're looking for? What's the immediate commercial goal? It's not just about returns, is it?
Not at first, no. The most immediate measurable goal is to increase what we call dwell time.
The amount of time a user actually spends on the product page.
Exactly. And from an SEO perspective, search engines see that as a huge signal of quality. If someone spends 2 minutes playing with a virtual jacket,
instead of clicking away after 5 seconds because they can't picture it.
right, you're essentially gamifying the experience. It keeps people engaged, signals quality, and immediately lowers that bounce rate. It's a massive win right out of the gate.
It's fascinating how just seeing something on yourself can change your whole mindset. Let's dig into that consumer psychology a bit more, because that feels like the real magic here.
It really is. This is where we focus on just the aesthetic validation, the vibe check. For so many fashion items, the biggest hurdle isn't, will it fit? It's, will this actually look good on me?
For sure. Things like handbags, sunglasses, jewelry, or even really loose-fitting streetwear like an oversized hoodie. The visual is everything.
And that brings us to the first really big psychological outcome, which is the psychology of ownership. It's also called the endowment effect.
Can you break that down? That sounds powerful.
The basic idea is that people value things more simply because they feel like they own them. When you use VTO to see a purse on your own shoulder, you've moved it from an abstract idea in a catalog into your personal space.
So it's no longer just a nice handbag. It's starting to feel like my handbag.
You've got it. It instantly bridges that gap between just browsing and actual purchase intent.
I can totally see that. I once bought this jacket, loved the color on the model, but when it arrived, that shade of orange just made me look awful. VTO would have stopped that immediately.
And that's the perfect lead-in to the second huge commercial outcome.
Correct.
Drastically cutting down on style returns.
So these are the returns where the reason is I changed my mind or it just doesn't suit me. It's not a technical problem with the size.
Precisely. A huge percentage of all returns fall into that subjective bucket. If VTO can filter those people out before they buy because they see it just doesn't work for them aesthetically, the retailer saves a fortune.
You save on the shipping out, the shipping back, the restocking fees.
All of it. It tackles costs on both ends of the transaction.
And what about the third outcome, the visual merchandising aspect? Because shooting every single item in every color on every body type that seems impossible.
It is. It's a logistical and financial nightmare. Booking models, studios, photographers, editors. VTO completely automates that. You take one 3D digital asset of a garment.
And you can instantly show it on an infinite number of body shapes and skin tones.
Yep, without a single photo shoot. It's a level of scalability and personalization that traditional photography just can't touch.
Okay, so VTO is amazing for aesthetics. It drives engagement, builds that ownership feeling, cuts down on style returns. But there has to be a catch, right? What about things where the fit is absolutely critical?
And that is the essential next step in the conversation. VTO is brilliant for visual validation, but its big limitation is technical fit.
So I might love how a pair of high-waisted jeans looks on me in the simulation.
You might love it. But the VTO engine on its own has no idea if your actual hip measurement is 2 inches wider than the garment's tolerance. It looks great, but it won't zip up, and it's coming right back.
So that's the flaw in using it as a standalone tool for certain types of clothing.
Exactly. And that's why the most effective strategy, what Prime AI really champions, is the full stack approach. It's about pairing that visual VTO engine with a data-driven sizing engine.
So it's not just two separate tools on a page, it's a single unified system to make sure what you want to buy will actually work in reality.
That's the philosophy. The journey is split into 2 validation checks. First is the visual one with VTO. That's the emotional part. You fall in love with the style, the color, the whole look.
And then while that's happening, you have the technical validation going on.
Yes. The size finder will take your height, weight, and this is crucial, your personal fit preference. Do you like it tight or a bit looser? And it crunches that against a mountain of historical purchase and return data to recommend a size.
And that historical data is so important because a large from one brand is completely different from another.
Oh, completely. The AI knows that a medium from brand X fits more like a small from brand Y based on real-world return data. It's giving you a confident recommendation, not just a generic size chart.
So with that integration, you're hitting the return problem from both sides.
You are. The VTO stops the aesthetic returns, the I don't like it returns, and the size finder stops the technical returns, the it doesn't fit returns. It's incredibly efficient.
And the data suggests that customers who use both tools actually end up being more valuable to the brand over time.
Significantly higher lifetime value, or LTV. And it makes sense, right? It builds this incredible trust. The brand isn't just trying to sell you something. It's giving you the tools to make a really smart, informed decision.
You're not just hoping it works out.
You're not guessing anymore. That confidence brings people back again and again.
So let's talk about where this gets applied. When does a retailer just need VTO? And when do they absolutely need the full hybrid model?
Well, if your catalog is mostly those visually driven, size-forgiving items, accessories, handbags, loose streetwear, then a standalone VTO is often a fantastic investment. It'll boost engagement, help your SEO, and cut down those style returns.
But if you're selling, say, tailored suits, performance activewear, structured denim,
then you're taking a massive risk by only focusing on the visuals. For those high-stakes items, the full stack with the size finder is absolutely essential. You have to ensure that virtual excitement translates to a perfect physical fit. But what's even more impressive is seeing it work for multi-brand retailers.
Right, managing the sizing chaos across 14 different brands.
Exactly. It proves the tech is robust and mature enough to handle the complexity of modern retail. It's really moving from a nice-to-have feature to just core digital infrastructure.
So to wrap this all up, we've gone from a static photo to this dynamic personal experience. We've seen how VTO drives that psychological sense of ownership and how the full stack solves the technical fit problem.
It's a clear, undeniable shift. Generic solutions like a one-size-fits-all chart just aren't competitive anymore. The future is about giving you tools that excite you visually and validate the purchase technically.
So VTO has 2 critical jobs: create that aesthetic desire, and when paired with a size finder, solve the actual fit.
Which really brings up an interesting question for the future. The overview from Prime AI mentioned a whole suite of other tools for frictionless commerce. Things like AI photoshoot, visual search, even specialized size finders for really tricky items like shoes or bras.
So given how fast VTO is becoming the new standard, the question is, how quickly will the pressure to adopt all of these other tools push traditional retail models, the ones still relying on just static photos? How quickly will they become totally non-viable?
And think beyond clothes. What part of your own life do you think is next? Is it virtually placing furniture in your living room before you buy, or maybe checking if a new roof rack will actually fit your specific car model?
Something to think about the next time you confidently hit that add to cart button. Thanks for joining us.